Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. Today we're in the JF-17 and we're looking at unguided bombing. We can have bombs on pylons 4, 3, 2, 5 and 6. Pylon 4 unguided bombs are Mark 83 £1,000, Mark 84 £2,000 slick unguided bombs. We're going to go for a Mark 84. Pylons 3 and 5 we can have the same options. We're going to go for a pair of Mark 83s. Pylons 2 and 6 we get a little more. We can have a Mark 20 Rockeye cluster munition suitable for infantry and light armour, Mark 82 £500 slick unguided, Mark 82 Snakeye high dragged unguided, Mark 83 £1,000 again, or BRU 33 twin adapters with 2 times Rockeyes or 2 times Mark 82s and 2 times Snakeyes. We're going to go to 2 times Snakeyes and have a symmetric loadout. So what we're going to show today are the following 3 bombing profiles. Profile 1 with the Mark 83s, we're going to show from medium altitude a dive bomb method with CCIP aiming mode with low drag bombs with a salvo release. Next, the Mark 84 bomb from medium altitude with a level bombing with a CCRP aiming mode, low drag again with a single release. And thirdly, Snakeyes at low altitude, level bombing with CCRP aiming, high drag bombs with a ripple release. Now we're armed up, we'll insert a data cartridge and do our DTC SMS update, then get in the air and look for targets. The controls needed today. Air to ground mode to select air to ground mode. Weapon launch, push and hold to drop the bombs. Remember, if we're doing a ripple, we need to press and hold until the full ripple has been depleted. TDC up, down, left and right in conjunction with CCRP on the HUD to designate a target. Target lock to lock that target. Target unlock to unlock that target. S1 backwards to cycle between SOI 4, lower MFD and the HUD. Okay, so first air to ground mode, and we make sure our master arm is on, which it is. So next we're going to select our weapon. We've already got Mark 83, but let's just choose it again. What mode do we want to drop in? From our chart we're going to drop in CCIP. How many do we want to drop? This is going to be a salvo drop, so we're going to select 2 to drop at once. The interval between each drop we're going to have a 0 milliseconds because it's a salvo. What is our breakaway altitude? So this is basically the minimum altitude that we're allowed to bomb at, and 500 feet sounds perfectly respectable, but actually why don't I just say 300, so 0, 300. We can go a little bit lower if we want. Our fuse, they're currently safe, so we're going to fuse them with a nose fuse. We could do a tail if we wanted. And that is a setup with our CCIPs. You can see we've got the bombs selected and they are armed and ready to go. The HUD says weapons is ready, which means master arm is on. We're in air to ground mode. We've got CCIP selected. Here is our CCIP bomb full line. On the bottom of that line will be this guy here. He's currently flashing because that cross is actually out of the scope of the HUD at the moment. That cross will represent, once it's inside the HUD, where the bomb will impact with the ground if I drop it at that particular time, and the range is shown in nautical miles where that cross is over. We're going for a dive type bomb from medium altitude. That means from at least 5,000 feet AGL. We'll use our radar altimeter here or our barometric altimeter if it's zeroed. We're going to dive in a minus 10 to 20 degree pitch, so we want to be between those two markers. Our speed wants to be between 400 and 450 knots CAS. The actual altitude that we drop at is going to be controlled by us when we release the bomb and how we operate the dive. The only advice I've got to say is that the closer you drop, the more accurate the drop will be, but the more danger you present to yourself in terms of damaging yourself from your own bombs, or if there is anti-aircraft fire down there, then again you present more danger. So if you're fighting, say, ZU-23s that can fire back at you heavily, then bomb from higher up. If you've got targets like we've got today, then we can go down and bomb from just a few hundred feet, and all we've got to worry about is our own blast. To drop the bomb is going to be simply a push and hold of the weapons release button. Simple as that. So we're at altitude now. We can unpause. We do not need to designate any targets. That is an option, but we're not going to do that. We're going to get on speed. Target spotted. We're going to ensure that the target is in our pitch gate between 10 and 20 degrees. So that's how I'm going to maneuver myself. The target is about there if you can't see it. Just below 10 degrees now. Okay. Now I'm going to aim down and above the target. So take note, the target is there, but I'm not going to aim my actual plane at the target. I'm going to aim my plane above the target. That is where my plane is going, there, where my velocity vector is. Above the target. The more above the target I'm going to go, the higher I'm going to attempt to drop from. What we're going to do is we're going to drag this bomb fall line here above the target, and when our designated cross comes onto the screen, we're going to let that drag up to the target, across the target, and pull the trigger when it crosses the target. It's the best and safe method for CCIP bombing. Possibly a little shallow in this dive, but it'll be okay. Range 1.6 miles. Cross will become, one thing I forgot to mention, the closer this cross here gets to becoming on the HUD here, then the more solid this line becomes. You saw that it was dotted to begin with and it slowly became more solid. Now it's solid, the cross is on the HUD. If I were to press the weapon release now, the bomb would drop right there. And we are going to get that cluster at the top there, so pull! Drop together in salvo as we designed, and it's going to be a perfect hit by the looks of it. Kaboomy! Next, we're going to go for our make Mark 84. This is going to be a CCRP medium level drop. So let's get on with it. Weapon Mark 84. Release mode is going to be auto. I call auto CCRP. It means the same thing basically. How many quantity? We've only got one to choose from, and we can't have an interval because we've only got one bomb. Break off altitude, we're going to keep the same. We're going to arm the bomb. So what we need to do now is, first of all, find our target, and then we can come in for our run. So it means getting distance. Let's get about 8 to 10 miles away from the target, and let's get a altitude of about 5,000 feet or above. That's what I would consider medium altitude, so I'm going to turn in now. Now, the way I would like to do this is, first, when I'm targeting, I'm quite happy to go slow. It gives me more time to do the targeting. Then when I'm in the actual bomb run, I will speed up. So just pause it there. So S2 backwards, and I've now got a star on the HUD. That means the HUD is now SOI, the center of interest. You see a diamond target designator appears here. Now we can actually move that target designator around now with our TDC, which I'm going to do there. Now this is how you do it without something like a T-pod. You would probably realistically do it more with a T-pod or something, but this is one way that we can designate from the HUD. So I'm going to find the target there. He's slightly off the screen, so I'm just going to move slightly. I'm going to move my guy there. Okay, you see I've got some targets roughly locked up there. I'm now going to press the target lock button. It's now locked, and we've got information. That's the range to the target there, 6.6 miles. The target is 2 degrees right of my bore sight, which is there. This is our CCRP guideline here. This is our timing cue here. What we are going to do now is fly so that our path marker here is perfectly in line with this CCRP, or auto line I should say here, which is perfectly in line with our target triangle there. We're going to fly level. We could fly up slightly or down slightly, but level for this example. We will have a countdown. You can see the time is currently 3 minutes 45. It's not quite working perfectly in early access. What it should be doing is counting down from now. In fact, what it does is it starts counting down from about 12 to 15 seconds. Once we're at just kind of about 3 or 4 seconds, then this guy here, this timing cue will start dropping down. And as soon as you hear the tone, press and hold weapon release. The weapon will release when the auto, the CCRP computer, determines it wants to release. And that's how it's going to work. So, I'm now on my bomb run, so I can now power up to speed. Again, if I'm over the enemy target, I want to be fast always. I've got to concentrate on getting those things all in line now. So, auto line in line, and my vector, my velocity vector in line. The closer I get everything lined up, the more accurate the bomb is. The lower the altitude, the more accurate the bomb, but the higher the risk of ground fire. Now keep an eye on the T, the time on the bottom right. It will change and start counting down soon. I'm level it to the right. 12 seconds, 13 seconds, wait for the tone. Push and hold weapon release. Bomb away. Release weapon release, and have fun watching the bomb. Like I said, the higher up you are, the safer, but the less accurate this is going to be. It looks like we're going to get bang on, though. Yeah, we got him. Perfect. Well, a few feet out. Not too bad for an old man. Right, next, the most exciting one, which is going to be the ripple of snake eyes. If we want to take out a column of targets, which we do, we're going to ripple them with snake eyes. So, weapon, snake eye. Mode is going to be auto, or CCRP, as I like to say. Quantity, we're going to drop all 4. The interval, because it's a ripple, so it's not going to be 0, it's going to be, and I'm going to choose 200 milliseconds between each drop. I'm going to press and hold until all 4 bombs are out. I'll break off altitude. I'm going to be bombing from very low here, so I want to basically neutralise that there, so it lets me bomb as low as I want, 100 or 200 feet. Fuse. Nose. I'm ready. So we've got to repeat what we just did, but I've got to designate a new target. Okay, the target designated diamond is, I should say as well, if the target designated diamond is off of the HUD, you get that arrow showing how to get to it. I'm going to unlock now. I'm going to find a new target. You may not be able to see them, but there is a strip of targets along there. Now I'm going to try and get them there. Accuracy is not going to be perfect, but we'll try that. I'm going to designate that 6 miles away. If I can get down in line with that, because I want to come in at an angle that allows me to spread my bombs along that target. It all depends on the accuracy of how I've designated that target, and like I said, without a T-pod or such, it's quite difficult to do accurately. I should say, when I'm creating that target, I am creating a target point. So we're going to run down this street now and see if we can get them. There's no real minimum altitude with Snakeyes, just be sensible. Get on speed. Everything else is going to be repeated as before. Push and hold.
Warning.
Boom! Got him! Note that the designator was at the beginning of my ripple, so what I should have done really is designated the first tank, and then the ripple would have worked its way down the column. So pretty happy with that. We've showed CCRP low, CCRP medium altitude. We've showed CCIP dive bombing. There are 2 other methods, DTOS, which is pop-up dive bombing, and loft toss bombing, but we're going to show them in a different video. Hope that was useful. See you later.